Okay, so this is part 2 of preaching short videos like this. Um, my first part is in my main channel, so make sure you go check that out, and make sure you go check that out on that preacher. So we're gonna continue off in James 4. We're gonna be reading out of James 4 verse 6. Let's get started. But he gives more grace. Therefore, it says, God opposes. What does opposes mean? It means disapproves. He disapproves the proud, but gives grace to the humble. So whenever you feel like, oh man, I'm actually doing good for God, like you're actually doing what he says, you're loving him, you're reading his word, you're trusting on every single plan he says, but you think you're better than others. That's one thing he does not like. Is when you think, wow, when you compare yourself to others, because it's not a right thing to do. God disapproves of that. He disapproves of when, no matter how good you are at anything, when you are reading the scriptures, no matter how much knowledge you have, no matter how much you've done for God, no matter how much you're in a deep relationship with God, if you think you are better than others, if you make yourself on top of others, God disapproves of that, right? And that's why it's very, very, very important to put others in front of yourself and to not think of yourself as the best, because it's a very dangerous thing, because you can do the most biggest works ever for God, right? You could memorize the entire Bible, obey God completely, follow his commands like 100%. But if you think you're better than others and that you deserve to go to heaven, and if you just think of yourself as better, God disapproves, right? But if you do all of that and you're humble and you still and you don't think of yourself as better than others, and you do what God says, you obey God, you have a relationship, a fellowship with him, right? But you don't have full of pride, right? And you're humble, you're kind. You don't care about how much better, or like, oh, I need to be better than this person, right? You don't care about that, right? It doesn't matter how good you're preaching, because Paul apparently wasn't the best at preaching, but he still did the good things that God did. So remember, don't be